Happy New Year, everyone. I hope this finds you all well, safe, happy, with lots of hopeful, happy feelings towards the new year. This is going to be my little New Year's gift to all of you. And it's a little bit of a different format. I'm actually just a little bit nervous because Vlad just told me as we sat down, he said, we're going to do this one differently. You're not allowed to read or see anything about the song before you listen to it. So my screen that I usually read from is black here. And the only thing that I know is the band is called The Other Words. And the song is called An End is a New Beginning. Well, I can kind of see maybe why he chose this one for a new year then. An end, a new beginning. Seems appropriate. And he told me that at the point at which I get confused or don't know what's going on in the song, that's when I can stop and read what he has for me to read. And that's when I got a little bit nervous because I said, well, what if I don't get confused? What if, anyway, this is, as usual, candid, myself. Who knows if it will end up going exactly how he thinks I might respond, but we'll take it as it comes and go for the ride, just like we'll do in the new year.
Suflet nefericit, visul tău nu s-a împlinit. Suflet nefericit, cât ai plâns, cât ai suferit.
Okay, I have to confess, I am a bit confused at the moment. Language. This is scary to say. Is this Romanian?
Yes.
So, first of all, I guess he translated the name of the band so that I wouldn't be kind of tipped off. The name of the band is actually Celelalte Cuvinte. I can read Romanian better than I can understand it. But now I might have to swallow my words. Un sfârșit e un început. Did I get it? An end is a new beginning. Vlad has a little note here. For the New Year's Eve, a surprise. I bet nobody expects this, not even Amy. No, I didn't. Those which are happy, and this song is for them too, but it is especially for those who are not happy. A good message and a great piece of rock music. That is Vlad's message to you all. Okay. Celelalte Cuvinte translates The Other Words, is a Romanian rock band formed in December 1981. The band was originally formed as Sonic in 1977, a high school band featuring the 3 future permanent members of Celelalte Cuvinte. At this point, they were providing entertainment for school events, playing Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and Pink Floyd. Formed in Timișoara, while the members of the band were students there, having won a couple of song contests and being invited to various festivals, Celelalte Cuvinte was signed to the state-owned record Electrocord label and managed to release 4 songs on the B-side of one of the company's rock bands compilations in 1984. Okay, so a little high school band who's getting a little bit of success here and even making it to the B-side of a rock band's compilation. For a small band, that's pretty impressive. After finishing their studies in 1987, oh, by the way, I'm just paying attention to these dates a bit more closely. This is during the communist era, still during the communist era. The group moved back to their native Oradea which is close to Serbia and Hungary, with many influences crossing the border via radio, coming from the more liberal regimes of the communist bloc. There, they managed to release their first LP, Celelalte Cuvinte 1. Following the release of Celelalte Cuvinte 2, they headed to a heavier direction, leaving behind their old-school progressive rock sound and opting instead for a more aggressive style influenced by heavy metal and thrash metal, while still maintaining a progressive edge. Celelalte Cuvinte is one of the Romanian bands with the longest activity, over 43 years of quality rock music behind them. Well, quite a story here. A band starting during the communist era, a rock band starting during the communist era, when it really at least wasn't approved and many times was forbidden. Okay, well, the lyrics, maybe I should read them in English because I need some translation help myself. An end is a new beginning, that's the title. Unhappy soul, your dream hasn't fulfilled. Unhappy soul, how much you cried, how much you suffered. All that you loved was pain. All that you treasured was just a thought. Forget all that you lost, all that you wanted, all that you didn't have. Forget the passing time. An end is a new beginning. An end is a new beginning. Well, probably each one of us can relate to that on some level. And I know that some of you will certainly feel that in a much stronger personal level. And knowing that much, let's start from the beginning again and listen to it.
Suflet nefericit, visul tău nu s-a împlinit. Suflet nefericit.
You know, as I'm listening to this opening bit again, there are things about it that somehow make me recall Stairway to Heaven. The sound, the accompaniment style, there's even the guitar there.
Suflet nefericit, visul tău nu s-a împlinit.
And the voice?
Suflet nefericit, cât ai plâns, cât ai suferit. Tot ce-ai iubit a fost durere. Ce-au prețuit a fost părere.
You know, I hear bits of influences from famous bands. Well, of course, it's not surprising. And as I'm thinking about this band in Romania during those years, probably they just had a handful of recordings of famous rock bands that they'd managed to get their hands on to model themselves after. And so it's not surprising to me that I hear, I don't know, I guess in this section, I'm thinking that could be kind of a Metallica bit. The riff, the little flourishes, but it has a distinctive flavor as well. It doesn't feel like just a a knockoff, copy, rehashing of it. And I think a lot of it has to do with, well, I think it's most obvious in the voice. As I'm listening to this singer, there is, well, I'm going to go back to the first time that I heard Stairway to Heaven. And when I heard that, and I heard both the long introduction and then his voice when he came in, and the whole style, I remember saying, sounds like it has some Celtic folk music influences. And a lot of you were surprised that I picked up on that on the first listen, but to me it was so there. Now here, as I'm listening to this, I'm saying it sounds a bit like Led Zeppelin. It sounds a bit like Metallica. I can hear those influences at the same time, especially in the voice. I'm hearing something that sounds like it's born from Romanian folk music. And that, I think, is one of the things that helps give it this distinctive flavor. So it's not just a rehashing of somebody else's style. They've obviously drawn from and been inspired by these, whatever they've gotten their hands on to listen to. But at the same time, they have given it their own flavor. They've put themselves into it. And I appreciate that, because it's always a challenge when you're limited in exposure to produce something of real relevance and quality on the same level that other bands and artists with so much more exposure. They're able to draw from so much more. They have so much more to explore, and they're able to find in all of that. It gives them the ability to develop more in themselves, as well as to find their own voice through all of that. Here, they just have a few things to pull from. I'm quite certain. Vlad's behind the camera. Am I headed in the right direction as far as what I assume about the access this band would have had to music?
Yes, and not only that, but it's also about the gear that they could get back then.
I hadn't thought about that, but
The
now that you mention, But I love this feeling of it comes from a real connection to a life, a culture, a world, which I get when I hear influences from what I'm going to say, people's music, the music of the people. When I speak of Celtic folk music, it's the music that culture is steeped in and breathes through for centuries. Same here. Romanian music, folk music, it's the music that has grown up and grown through the people themselves, and it is also the voice, the music, the breath of the people. And I hear that in the voice and in the style. Maybe, well, certainly it's because I've had the advantage of being able to be exposed to a good bit of Romanian folk music, because I married a Romanian. And so I can pick up on that. But I'm curious to hear what you all think about that as well. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. And if you pick up on anything that feels like I think it does, feels genuine, fresh, a real authentic is the word I'm looking for, an authentic expression.
A fost părere. Ce-ai pierdut, tot ce-ai vrut, tot ce n-ai avut.
I like the way
Uită timpul timpul ce-a
Voice on its own.
trecut.
Instrument. Oh, now it's the guitar instead of the voice.
În sfârșit e un început.
Reflective. I like that duet that's happening in the guitar. Dual harmony. And the bass is kind of singing, sort of counter melody in a way. Somehow the drums remind me of Ringo. Beautiful, reflective. It's really tender, isn't it? And then ooh, that's nice. Nice energy.
În sfârșit e un început.
Okay, towards the end, I started to feel like it's time for the voice to come. It's time for the voice. It won't feel finished without the voice. And I was looking at the sound graph and thinking, they're not going to do it, are they? They're not going to do it. And then just at the last second, the voice on its own. An end is a new beginning. Or let's see, what is it? Un sfârșit de un început. It's interesting to me the way that they would really sink into and go towards a very gentle, tender, reflective quality, and then suddenly interrupt it with a lot of energy. I've heard that approach before in rock music. It's not like it's brand new. But what interests me about it here is that it feels like it's a sort of musical example of how an end gives room for a new beginning. And that really started to settle in right about here when we have this. As if this is the sort of end of a story. And then But that leaves room for a new beginning. Ah! And here it comes. And the energy and the guitar. And then the drums and the bass. And this was the moment, this last instrumental section where I felt like, okay, they are demonstrating the idea that really it's time. There's room. We're ready for a new beginning. It's almost like two pieces of music put right up against each other. The end of a chapter and the beginning of another chapter, which are quite contrasted, and it fits the sentiment of the song. It fits the message. You've had a really low period. You've been unhappy, you've cried, you've suffered, you've experienced all this pain. Everything that you treasured ended up just being a thought, an idea of something that wasn't real, didn't have substance. So forget all that you lost, because that doesn't even exist. Because the end is a new beginning, and we actually get to have something solid here, and here it comes, and this is what you can look forward to if you will just let the past go. Nice expression of these ideas. Musically, it is. I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed hearing their voice, their musical creativity within their world. And even now, so many years down the road in a different world, it still sounds like it has some meaning, something worth saying. So, sometimes we admire an artist simply because they did unimaginable achievements within their world, although removed from it, we have to say, well, in order to appreciate it, you have to keep in mind the context and so on and so forth. But here, I feel like this is enjoyable, even not knowing the background. If I didn't know the background, I would have still enjoyed it. I would have still appreciated it. And that speaks to, I don't know, their tenacity, their creativity, their vision, and their ability to really dig into themselves and come up with something, find something within themselves that is lasting. And that is incredibly admirable. The other words, or let's see, Celelalte Cuvinte. It sounds better in Romanian. In English, the other words. Celelalte Cuvinte. I like that sound better. And how fitting, this message. At this specific point in time, the end of one year, the beginning of a new year. We've all had our disappointments, some more than others. We've all experienced our struggles, our sadnesses, and we all have perhaps some doubts about what the new year is going to hold for us, for the future in our own lives, in the context of the world at large. And this reminder that an end is a new beginning. It is full of opportunity. And, well, it's true for every day, isn't it? The same thing can be said. The end of one day is the beginning of a next. But a year is kind of more memorable, isn't it? It's a bigger marker. And it's always nice to take the moment to really, really reflect and think about it and choose how we are going to relate to what comes next. And that is a very fitting message, I think. And I want to, as Vlad said, I want to especially gift this to each of you who have really struggled and who still have struggles and pains and hardships that are really hard to deal with. And I hope that it is something special that you can carry with you into the new year, and for all of you as well. And I also want to take this moment to glance back at the Virgin Rock year as well, it has been another, well, I guess I can say it's the second full year of Virgin Rock. And it has been a beautiful year on our end. Of course, we've had our challenges as well. But it has been so beautiful, and it is you who have made it so, especially in the Virgin Rock community, and those of you who comment, who share, who write, who interact. We enjoy and appreciate each one of you and your contributions to not just the community, but to our lives as well. And I find that incredibly precious and meaningful. And I'm looking forward to how we grow together in the new year, how music will pull us closer together all around the world. And I hope that each of you can feel that experience on your side of the screen as well. And I want to say thank you. I want to say I appreciate you. I want to say you are beautiful and meaningful to me and to us and within our lives. And that's just how I feel about it. So Happy New Year to everyone, to each of you. I hope that you enjoy this moment, this end, which is a new beginning, and I'll see you next year.